Hi, I'm Olga Elsiad, a sugar detox coach. I make quitting sugar easier. In today's video, we're going to talk about parasites and how they cause your sugar cravings and what you can do to stop it. Just to clarify, when I talk about parasites in this video, I talk about gut imbalances in general, which include parasites, helminths, but also bad bacteria and also overgrowth of yeast, mold, and candida. Parasites are one of the three main reasons why people crave sugar. First two reasons are habits and blood sugar imbalances. And then we talk about gut imbalances that also cause a lot of sugar cravings. All three reasons are interconnected, and you cannot just change one thing and expect to have changes with sugar cravings for good. You have to work on all three areas at the same time, find the biggest offenders and work on them simultaneously to get the results. It may sound shocking for some of you, but parasites, candida overgrowth and bad bacteria in the gut, they all make us crave sugar and make us feel hungry all the time. To get a steady supply of sugar that they like, they release toxins that make us crave sugary foods. Three major bad things happen in the body when the body is infested with parasites. Number one, all parasites, whether it's bacteria or helminths or yeast and candida overgrowth, they all release toxins in the body that our body is trying to get rid of, and it overburdens our immune system, making us more susceptible to other viruses and other internal infections. Parasites make us crave sugary foods. They release certain toxins that make us crave foods that they like to eat, and they over time train us to like those foods. That would be if you have cravings for ice cream, especially intense cravings for ice cream, especially at night. Also maybe sweet yogurts, cereal with milk, these kind of foods. Candida, which is yeast overgrowth in the body, makes people crave baked goods because it likes those doughy, yeasty foods and it thrives on them. And number three, nutrient theft. Parasites steal our nutrients. Quite literally, they are the first ones to get whether we eat good vitamins or good organic food. They are the first ones to eat it, and then they leave us with their toxins instead. So sometimes people say that their vitamins don't work, even though they take expensive vitamins or they eat organic food or they eat junk food, they see no difference. It could be because they have thieves in the body that are stealing all the good nutrition from them. Humans always knew about parasites and were always aware of them and trying to do something about them. Traditionally, if you look at cultural foods, they all contain antiparasitic foods with antiparasitic properties. Usually it's spices, spicy foods, foods that are tart and bitter. Some of the most popular ones are garlic and onion, have very strong antiparasitic properties. Then there would be bitter and spicy peppers, also very powerful. Then we also have bitter herbs and spices, especially spices like cloves, mint, oregano, and other herbs. And traditional practices always included some kind of foods where usually women would feed to their children to get rid of parasites, like pumpkin seeds, apricot seeds, garlic were commonly used. As a child, I used to spend summers at my grandmother's in Ukraine, and my grandmother used to make a tea out of very bitter herbs that she used to make us drink every day or for some periods of times. And now I realize that these were the antiparasitic herbs that were helping us restore our gut flora and keep us healthy. Parasites are a lot more prevalent than people want to believe in them. World Health Organization estimates that at least 24% of the world population has at least one parasite, and the majority of those people have at least two parasites. And this is what's known and studied because scientists are also humans and they don't really like studying parasites because it's gross. Even in Western countries and more developed countries with the higher hygiene standards still have parasites in people. And here we are talking actually about helminths. But when it comes to bad bacteria and candida overgrowth, the mechanism of getting them is completely different, and a lot more people are affected by them, unfortunately. I will talk about how people get candida later in this video. I have a video on this channel about the signs of parasites, where I talk in detail about every symptom and what it means. But here I'm going to just read you a list of signs of parasites so you know what we're talking about. But I highly encourage you to watch that video and other videos in that playlist on parasites. So teeth grinding and drooling during night, during sleep is one of the surest signs that people have parasites, because parasites during night release some kind of toxin that makes us clench our jaws and drool at night on the pillow. Number 3 is sleep problems, anxiety and depression, and other problems with the nervous system, hyperactivity, especially in children, chronic tiredness and brain fog. Then all the digestive symptoms, stomach problems, symptoms of IBS and colitis, constipation, diarrhea, all are the signs of parasites. Itchy anus is one of them as well. All digestive problems like discomfort, pains, flatulence, constipation, stool changes, this is all could be the sign of parasites. Appetite problems and hunger pains. Parasites make us hungry, as we spoke about it before. Food cravings, especially for sugar and dairy. Allergies and asthma, skin rashes, hives, eczema, and dermatitis. Another big sign is not looking good and looking older than your biological age. Lowered immune system, frequent colds, bacterial and viral infections, because our immune system is affected by it. Weight problems, difficulty in losing or gaining weight. Muscle and joint pains. Anemia is one of the big ones, because some parasites are blood suckers. Mood changes during full moon, because parasites are becoming more active during full moon and they give you more symptoms. And if you have any of those symptoms, you are due for a parasite cleanse. But before we go into cleansing from parasites, let's talk about the stages of what it looks like when you get infected by parasites. There are 3 stages. Stage number 1 is the acute stage, initial symptoms. When the person becomes infected with the parasite, they often experience symptoms like fever, rashes, skin reactions. It can be anything, psoriasis, eczema, flare up. It can be diarrhea or vomiting. That's the body's mechanisms of defense are turning on, and also generally not feeling good. It often looks like a virus or food poisoning or anything, and people usually get over it in a few days and don't think much about it. I also have to note that when it comes to helminths, our immune system is always trying to inform us that we have some kind of invader in the body, but the immune cells are much smaller than any parasites, so it cannot really get rid of them. It's just trying to alert us, and over time it wears out our immune system and we become vulnerable to other diseases because of that. And then we go in stage 2. It's a chronic stage when we have the accumulation of toxins and also nutrient theft, when the parasites steal our nutrients from the body. Majority of the parasites live in our digestive tract, and they eat our nutrients. They steal our nutrients that are intended for our cells, for our organs. As they steal our nutrients, our vitamins, our minerals, everything that is needed for us, our body becomes weakened and nutrient deficient. At the same time, as they eat, they poop. They release toxins, and those toxins start going into our bloodstream and circulating all over the body, making us sick. Over time, those toxins can accumulate and cause more serious diseases. So stage number 3 of parasitic infection is weakened immune system and susceptibility to other diseases. Our immune system becomes tired of battling constantly something that it cannot conquer, and it becomes weak. We become susceptible to the diseases that can come from the outside, like viruses, but we also can become susceptible to internal infections and even scary diseases. I'm not gonna name them here. The weakened immune system can allow the viruses that have been dormant inside of us for decades to reactivate. This can be the Epstein-Barr virus can get reactivated, then cold sores and shingles. People infected with parasites become vulnerable for many other diseases, and they get sick more often. They don't look good and they don't feel good. Now let's talk about Candida. Candida is a form of yeast that usually lives inside of us. We're all born with a small amount of Candida albicans in our body, and it's not a big deal, but it is built into us by nature. It's a biological thing that once the body passes, it is easier for the body to decompose and become part of the earth, so it doesn't pollute the earth. That's the reason for it. In a healthy young body, Candida usually lives as single cells, and they are spread all over and don't cause any harm. But when given the opportunity, Candida starts growing inside the body, growing into like mold on the wall, penetrating into the organs and invading more organs and systems. It can circulate its cells through the blood and get into all organs. Candida overgrowth became a lot more common these days because of the overuse of antibiotics and other medications. For example, many women use birth control pills, sometimes for decades, and that promotes the growth of Candida. Just like other parasites, Candida steals our nutrients, it releases a lot of toxins, and it makes us crave sugary foods. It is much harder to get rid of Candida because it's inside of us and because of the way it grows, penetrating into everything. So we have to be mindful of it and learn how to keep it under control or get it under control when it's already overgrown. I already have one video on my YouTube channel about Candida, and I plan to make more videos about Candida because it's personal to me and because I have a lot of experience in managing it and keeping it under control. Be sure to follow this channel and click a like on this video if you want to get more videos like this on how to get your sugar cravings under control. As I mentioned before, to get your sugar cravings under control, you need to work on all main reasons of why we crave sugar, including parasites. In my 90-day sugar detox program, we have as our second stage, we are working on the parasites with that program that you see behind me, the orange and yellow box. This is called the Parashield Plus program. This is the program that contains everything you need to remove parasites, to remove the toxins they produce, and to rebalance your gut flora to keep it healthy. I have a few videos on this channel about parasites and about the program that I'm talking about. I'm going to attach the link to the playlist in the description. I will see you in the next video. Bye!